All right, well, good morning. I am Melissa Moody, chair of the CARS Professional Development Committee. So thank you for joining us for our first Latte and Learn in March. We do have another one coming up on March 20th. This session is focused on Lake Anna, and our moderator needs no introduction, Neil Williamson with CAR and the Free Enterprise. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Melissa. I am happy to be here. I'm president of the Free Enterprise Forum, a privately funded public policy organization that focuses on the local governments of Central Virginia. CAR is a founding member, and I also rent space at CAR. So if you're ever in the building and I'm not at a meeting, you can pop by my office and give me a hard time. I want to welcome and introduce our panelists today. Kevin Marshall is the Director of Economic Development for Spotsylvania County. And we also have Tom Eglin, the Deputy Director of Community Development for Louisa County. We are going to discuss updates of what's happening in and around Lake Anna, including data centers, new commercial development, and what's ahead for 2026. We're going to start off with Kevin talking a little bit about the development activity in Spotsylvania County, specifically on their side of Lake Anna. Kevin?
Yep. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you. I don't. I'll give as be as brief as I can because out at the lake right now, we don't have a lot of major development. We've got some proposed development going on the Spotsylvania side. We do have Hotel Lake Anna has been used to be Hotel. Gosh, I can't remember the original name of the hotel, but it used to be where Chelsea Joe's was. It was a restaurant and bar area there. That hotel has been completely renovated on the inside, and they are hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks, as soon as they get done with some final permitting, they'll be opening up that restaurant again under a new name. The owners there are really excited about it. They've done a lot of remodeling and a lot of work to that restaurant, brought in some chefs and things. It's a little bit different flair to the Spotsylvania side of as far as restaurants at the lake. I think it's going to be very popular and be able to give the folks a little bit of variety there that we hadn't had in the past. Also, we got at the lake, of course, it's been real successful and open for a few years. There's the Log Cabin Brewery. A lot of people visit on our side of the lake. Some proposed development, nothing has hit the desk as far as permitting just yet or rezonings, but there are some proposed commercial stuff out around the 208 bridge and some housing going there as well. But we've not a lot to talk about there because I don't have a set of plans. Just looked at several different conceptuals and nothing's in stone yet. So it's little information there. As far as our county goes, we're very we've got data centers going in on 5 different sites. All of those sites here in Spotsylvania are east of 95. So we're very familiar with that industry and can answer anyone's questions. I know it's a real hot topic throughout the state of Virginia right now. And we're very proud. We have in November of this year, we'll be opening up Kalahari Resorts and Convention Center. Happy to answer any questions about that today as well. It's going to be a very, very large hotel there. We got 907 rooms, indoor, outdoor water park. There'll be 21 food and beverage outlets within the resort and 150,000 square foot convention center that has already started. They've booked conventions out to 28 already, so it's going to be very popular. Give the folks, if you're going to a conference or a convention here in the state of Virginia, you can go somewhere besides Richmond or DC and actually have a place to park your car. So we're kind of excited about that, having that capability here in Spotsylvania. And like I said, throughout this morning, if there's any questions about the county, I'm happy to answer.
Kevin, can you tell us where exactly the convention center is going to be located?
Off of exit 118 at Thornburg. It's in between Route 1 and 95. If you were to get off the exit, you would head south on Route 1 and enter into the facility it's about a half a mile from the traffic light there at 606 and Route 1.
Okay, great. And you mentioned the 5 data center sites east of 95. what level of completion are those in? I've been following some of the data center development, and I'm not certain how far all those sites are.
The Cosner site, Cosner Tech Campus, has two buildings under roof. And one of the buildings right now is being outfitted. It hasn't come fully online as far as their servers and equipment inside. We call the Mattamead campus, which is was the Orock farm. That has they haven't started construction there, but they're doing the dirt work on that site. And our Powerhouse campus, which is also off of Cosner Drive, they have a building on the roof and another one under construction there as well. So we've we're starting to see these things get on the roof, and looking forward to the actual get them paying the tax dollars that we need here in the county to keep things going.
The tax generation of data centers is something that I've been tracking for about 2 years now. It was fascinating to me looking at the Governing magazine did a piece on right before data centers got to be a hot topic. They did a piece on Loudoun County's data centers, and those data centers in Loudoun produce in excess of the Loudoun County's total budget for their K-12 education, which is now I'm not suggesting one way or the other on data centers. I just think that the math is interesting. Um, Shifting now over to Louisa County. Tom, can you provide a quick update on the things that are going on in Louisa County? I was reading about a new golf course this morning.
Sure, Neil. Would I be able to share my screen, or would you like me to just kind of go over it without?
I think you can share your screen. That's
Yes,
a Teresa question.
yes, go right
Yes,
ahead.
you can. I've
Okay.
been told.
I don't appear to have that. Oh, there it is. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. And
Great.
can you all
Coming
see
up
my
now.
screen?
It's coming up. There we go. We got it.
Excellent. All right. Good morning, everybody. My name's Tom Eglin, again, Deputy Director for Louisa County's Community Development Department. And I'd be remiss if, as I'm a planner, not to go over zoning first, of course. So this is the 208-522 corridor that connects Lake Anna to the Newbridge area. And as you can see, we have quite a bit of different zoning classifications in here. We have red planning or development. We have purple resort development, light pink C1, agricultural green. You have your yellow commercial. So, switching from this map to our future land use map, this pink area is designated by the 2040 comprehensive plan as an area that'll be slated as mixed use. So that's a mix of commercial, residential. Um, and the reason I bring that up is this is our main connection to Spotsylvania, obviously. So it's nice having both of us on the call. And as you mentioned, this is the Cut Along Resort project, which everybody is aware of. It's been around for quite some time. And then the Wares Crossroad Plan Unit Development will be going to the Planning Commission this Thursday for the assemblage that I'm showing right here in pink. That is going to be a second golf course. It'll be a plan unit development with a mix of uses included in it. We do have some scattered around this area. We have some commercial projects under review. We have the Gateway that people are familiar with here, and then some commercial that's coming soon in certain areas, but not a lot going on outside of the lake. A lot of this yellow area that you're seeing is a low density residential. That's what the comprehensive plan is designating. On the western side of Lake Anna, we do have a possibility of a marina coming in down. There is a marina here at Pleasant's Landing, but another marina. And that's kind of a quick overview of the Lake Anna area, unless there's any questions.
Can you define low density residential for us?
The 2040 comprehensive plan, what it means by low density residential, I could pull it up and give you the actual number of homes and acreage, but the expectation is not multifamily, not high density, more of the single family spread out approach.
So pretty much single family detached.
Correct.
Okay. And you mentioned the additional marina, Tom. Has there been nibbles and discussions about that?
So the marina has gone through a conditional use permit approval and it has obtained site plan approval. So at this point, the marina would be located on these two parcels here. It would be entirely up to the developer when they plan on actually pulling the trigger on that.
All right. And um, the golf course that you mentioned, I was reading about that this morning as well. My understanding is the second 18 is going to be a private golf course with 179 residences. And if I'm
It, it, I,
jumping,
I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately. I think it's around the 150 number. It is going to
okay.
be an upscale planning and development. The developer's talking about targeting second and third homeowners. This planning and development will go to the Planning Commission for review this Thursday at 7 o'clock. So you can either attend in person or watch online. Or you can visit our Board of Supervisors Planning Commission meeting portal, and this is where you can go to download the packet. The packet's about 795 pages. Not all of it is that project, and you can watch the video from here as well.
And by targeting the second and third homes for folks, in reading through the packet, which is the nerdy things that I do, I noticed that the calculation for uh, school children seems to be modified a little bit based upon that market. Is that accurate?
Um, I I think they're anticipating about 17 children for about 150 some odd homes. And again, don't quote me on that because I don't have
Okay.
the exact figures up in front of me. But obviously, when an applicant applies for a rezoning, they're required to provide data to allow decision makers to do research. And hold on. Sorry, let's send that to voicemail. The short story is we'll take their research under review and our decision making.
That makes good sense. And for folks that haven't read through local governmental packet, I think everybody should do that at least once because you don't get that 2 hours back. But you'll find tidbits in there that are really fascinating as the planners try and evaluate and provide the decision makers with the material to make those decisions. Um, it is planning and it is looking into the future, but there is some science involved in it with regard to um, how projects are evaluated. So I encourage folks to do that.
And
Um, and in the future land use map, Thomas, the mixed use corridor, will that allow multifamily in there?
it through a planning and development, our PUD requires a minimum of 10 acres, and planning and development allows developers to have more flexibility when on the design. They have to come up with a very well designed, with a lot of information, concept plan as part of that application, which is why, there's the packet's about 795 pages, is you have a lot of required things you need to submit as an applicant that provide the detail to meet the requirement of planning or development. And so, yes, you could come up with several different types of housing, and you can also apply for conditional use permits for different uses to go along with it. And you see that also in this application.
All right. And what is your turnaround time for a conditional use permit generally? I mean, for a project that has a conditional use permit and a rezoning, is it a 6 month, 1 year? What time frames are you talking about, Tom?
So the state of Virginia requires legal advertisement 2 weeks prior to a public hearing, and during the course of a conditional use permit, you're going to have a planning commission meeting and a board of supervisors meeting. So due to the fact you'll have to advertise 2 weeks prior, that's 2 months already. You add a third month then for your neighborhood meeting, something Louisa County does that we also will allow more than one neighborhood meeting if the applicant and citizens believe that that would be helpful. So you're up to 3 months there. We add in a pre-application meeting before that with the elected and appointed officials, so that we can kind of take a look at the application and provide comment. So what we say, 4 months is probably the fastest you could do one. We tell everybody 4 to 6 months because there's no guarantee an application will be complete when it comes in. It could be missing things. You'll see in the application that's going to the Planning Commission, it went through several rounds of review. And it's just making sure that we have, again, I keep bringing this up, but it's very important that the applicant provides the information needed for citizens, elected and appointed officials, as well as staff to make decisions.
All right. Um, Kevin, question for you. I know you've got 5 data centers ready and kind of in process. Um, in thinking about data centers in general, there's been a lot of commentary, some of it a little hyperbolic, regarding power and water usage. What would you say Spotsylvania's position these days is about new data centers, and what suggestions would you give realtors to tell their clients if they're locating near a data center about concerns about water and power demands?
Well, I'll start with water. Here in Spotsylvania County, we are not using any groundwater or any potable water for cooling of data centers. We actually, 4 of our 5 campuses are with AWS, which is Amazon. Um, we constructed a reuse system off of our wastewater plant. So we call it purple pipe or gray water. So the basis of that is where we would normally treat our wastewater and the finished product goes back into the Rappahannock River at our wastewater treatment plant. We've set up a system where that treated water now goes into this reuse line. It runs to the data center uses it, then it comes back to our wastewater plant. So it's almost a closed loop system. Now that water will, once it returns back as wastewater, it's treated again. The only water lost in the data center here in Spotsylvania County is from evaporation. Where there's no wells, there's no public water going to cool these facilities. Now they do have public water running to the buildings, for you can use the bathroom, wash your hands, but that's a low, very minimal use because each building has about 25 to 30 employees. Once that data center is constructed, every 2,000 to I'm sorry, 200,000 to 250,000 square feet, your average between 25 to 30 employees. As far as the electricity, our electricity grid is I guess Louisa is powered with REC and Dominion as well as Spotsylvania. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the 2 power companies there. REC, being a local cooperative, purchases power from Dominion. Dominion purchases their power from the grid, which is PMJ. Our grid actually runs from Ohio, Pennsylvania on into the Carolinas. So the effects that we're seeing here locally on power, we're not going to run out of power. A lot of people think we're going to run out of power, but it doesn't matter if that data center is in Spotsylvania, Louisa, or if it's out in South Hill, Pennsylvania. If it's on that grid, our customers here, our residents and all, are still going to feel the effects of that. There's several articles and different things out there about the price increases and the things that you have seen. Dominion and Rappahannock, although they're kind of one and the same, they do operate very differently. Dominion has a system to where you'll see increased cost on your power bill for infrastructure. Rappahannock, you will not see that. The data centers that are powered, and all of ours are powered by Rappahannock Electric. Rappahannock Electric is, being a cooperative, is a not-for-profit entity. They've created 2 for-profit LLCs that the data centers will be buying power from here in Spotsylvania, and they'll be paying a different rate. That way they can keep the customers' bill down. Or Dominion has a little bit different structure that I'm not as familiar with, but Rappahannock they're listening to the public. I don't think we're going to see any large increase to anyone's bill. I know everybody's complaining about electric bills right now because it stayed below freezing for 19 days. If you heated your home with electric, everybody's bill was high. But I think REC's done a great job by creating that for-profit LLC, and the data centers here don't mind paying extra or more for power, and they're going to be buying their power from those for-profit LLCs. So there'll be actually profit coming in that can reduce the residential customers' bill costs in the future. So I thought that was something that REC did a little bit different that hopefully is going to work out well for the folks here in Spotsylvania.
Kevin, the what I'm calling the purple pipe solution is most interesting. And you've mentioned that the 5 data centers are all located east of 95. I take it that that purple pipe infrastructure exists only in that area, or how far out does that exist?
Yeah, that it'll run all the way from our wastewater plants off of Route 2 there on the Rappahannock, and it'll run basically parallel east of 95 all the way to the county line at Caroline at the exit 118 in the Thornburg area. It goes through the Mattamead campus, and they'll be able to tie into it, and other sites will have that capability. And as time goes on and the capacity increases, right now we're at about 9 million gallons of for a purple pipe system for capacity. We could be in the next 5 years up to 13.
And what is this is a little bit of an opinion question. Having the infrastructure there for this purple pipe, do you sense that there'll be additional data centers locating in Spotsylvania County?
Well, the yes, I do. We've changed the board of supervisors just recently put in a special use permit for data centers. So that made the process of taking a rezoning and or building a data center more costly, having to go through that process. But I don't think you're going to see. I don't think that's going to run the data center user out of town by any means. Um, we do have some that are in planning now for another campus. Um, Actually, we'll have our first campus west of 95, and that site's already zoned. Our Spotsy Tech campus. We just haven't started moving dirt on that, and working through the planning process with it now.
Now, will that be served by the purple pipe solution?
Yes, they'll have a capability of going onto the purple pipe as well if they choose to do so. Some of these data centers do air cooled, and there's immersion technology out there as well. They're consistently they're the amount of water the data center uses are consistently getting lower and lower because it costs. They're paying for that reuse water. So that industry wants to keep that cost down. And then, it's just they want to make as much money as possible, just like any other business. So you'll see that technology get better and better as time goes on.
Understood. Thomas, with regard to Louisa County, we've seen some interesting data center discussions. I don't know that Louisa has purple pipe technology, but I think that we saw 2 Amazon centers come up rather quickly, and then a third come up and go away, I think. So can you speak to where the data centers are and those that have been approved and might be missing or might be pending?
Sure. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So, Louisa County is home to the Dominion Energy North Anna Nuclear Power Plant. So, to give a frame of reference of where we are, and then we have the 2 towns here, the town of Louisa and the town of Mineral. And that's the new bridge right here. This is the Lake Anna data center campus right here. That's currently under construction. And down here is the Route 33 Northeast Creek Amazon data center that's about 1,300 acres. This one's 120 and some change, I believe. The application that you mentioned that was submitted by Amazon was for this around this 1,300 acre assemblage here. That was withdrawn last year after the neighborhood meeting. So we have 2 areas here that we do not have anything planned for, but they're in this pink is what's called the Technology Overlay District. You will have to apply for a conditional use permit if you would like to apply for either of these 2 pink blobs. Right now, the Planning Commission has been tasked by the Board of Supervisors to review our technology overlay districts. The other data center that's not on here is down by the Shannon Hill exit. EdgeCore purchased the Shannon Hill Business Park. So that's about a 700-acre assemblage of properties that will become a data center as well. That's not shown on the map, but it's down in the Shannon Hill area. And that's the quick overview. We do have, if you'd like to get into the weeds, if you go to our zoning ordinance, you can learn more about our technology overlay district and the requirements for applying, the requirements for being in that district. And you can simply find that by searching TOD into the search bar of our ordinance.
Great. Now, the with regard to water and electricity usage, are you seeing significant technological advances reducing water usage in the two new proposed sites, the two new sites that are coming out of the ground now? And secondarily, are there additional data centers that are in process or at least in pre-app that are going to be discussed in the technology corridor?
So I can't really speak about the water because that's more of an economic development question in Louisa
Okay.
County Water Authority. The Northeast Creek campus is using the reservoir down off of Route 33, um, and Lake Anna campus will be using that reservoir as well. There aren't any applications that I have for data centers other than the two Amazon projects that are being built currently under different stages of site plan and building review. In the Edge Core project, which that property was recently purchased by Edge Core. So not much is happening with that at the moment. But other than the two Amazon and the Edge Core, nothing really going on. And then for power, we have three power providers in the county. We have actually Dominion, Rappahannock, and Central Virginia Electric Co-op. And so we have a lot of um, transmission and distribution within our network.
Well, I know that the Edge Core just recently changed hands. What's the time frame for that coming online, or is there a time frame?
I don't have a timeline for EdgeCore at this point.
Okay, so that means it'll be some time because they would need to work through permits through you, I would anticipate.
Correct. It would require site plan review through state and local and possibly federal agencies, depending on the size of the project.
All right. My next question really focuses a little bit more on the hospitality industry, which is quite a big industry, and with regard to the convention center and other things. But what about your regulation? We'll start with Tom on this. Your regulations with regard to taxation on short-term rentals and whether or not you have a registration portal or how you manage short-term rentals in Louisa, because that's a big part of the lake.
Sure, I'm going to share my screen again one more time. Um, If you Google Louisa County short-term rentals, we've created a web page for people to learn about what the requirements are, whether or not they're in a zoning that allows it or requires a conditional use permit. Um, and some additional information. And on this website, we have hyperlinks for you to register with the county, with the Commissioner of Revenue's office, as well as community development. It also goes through the different requirements. If you really want to get in the weeds, believe it or not, I believe this page will give you that information. Section 86-114 are our requirements for short-term rental. So there's about seven of them. And we try to make it as easy as possible for people to register. And if they have any questions, they're more than welcome to give us a call. It's not unoften that I get an email asking for something in writing stating that an address can operate a short-term rental either by right with restrictions or by right. Um, so I hope that answers your questions.
It does. And the what about in Spotsylvania, Kevin? What are your thoughts with regard to short-term rentals, the regulation, registration, and how vibrant is the short-term rental market in Spotsylvania?
we have a large short-term rental market in Spotsylvania, and it seems like it's continuing to grow. When I served on the board of supervisors for 8 years, we had several discussions about creating a short-term rental ordinance. We haven't gotten to where Louisa is yet. I think we need to get there. We are tracking them. They are paying the TOT tax just like the hotel rooms we have in the county. The ones that we have registered, we're in the progress that Spotsylvania has made on that is I don't know how. I don't think you're going to see it pick up in the next month or two. We unfortunately we lost our commissioner of revenue. Miss Williams passed away about 3 weeks ago now, and they'll be holding a special election for her position in November. And we have an interim right now. Her number two is working as our commissioner of revenue in the interim. That's something that we've got to work out with them. They were tracking them. I think we were up to about 300 or 400. I think 380 was the number. Close to 400 short-term rentals that we know were paying that TOT tax. The discussions that I've had, and the biggest thing and biggest concern we had with short-term rentals was the safety. We didn't want a 4-bedroom house having 20 people living in it or staying in it, and we did not want the safety of the environment as far as the lake goes. We didn't want these septic, because everybody's on well and septic around the lake. We didn't want these septic systems getting overrun and anything leaching out into the lake. So those are the requirements that our current board is going to have to consider and look at. Is one, is safety of the folks being there as far as fire and rescue goes, and two, the safety with our environmental issues that could be caused by having a home that's overcrowded, as far as the septic systems. But I don't think you're going to see any progression from our county here probably for it'll probably be summertime before they get back on it to work on getting an ordinance in place that will address those issues.
Well, thank you. Thomas, the Louisa's been kind of advanced on their short-term rental regulations. How do you guys see compliance so far? Do you have pretty good compliance, and how vibrant is your short-term rental market?
It's very vibrant around the lake. It's also, I think, somewhat vibrant in our agricultural areas, which is thankfully a lot of the county. We're trying to support ag tourism. We've recently hired an agricultural preservation coordinator to assist in coming up ways to protect our agricultural areas, and that's goal one of our comprehensive plan as well. But circling back to short-term rentals, I don't work in the Commissioner of Revenue's office, but I will tell you when we first put the registration online, I was getting 10 a day, every day for weeks. And they trickle in as people either swap houses or create new STRs. So compliance for the most part is going fairly well. I think our biggest issue is making people were very well aware of it when the ordinance was coming through the Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors. And I think that the word has gone out that there's a relatively easy way to register. I remember fielding calls every single day for a couple months. So I think that has helped. Code enforcement is a matter of we're complaint based. So in the rare instance that we do get a complaint, we obviously investigate, but that doesn't happen very often.
That's great. I know that some localities have taken to utilizing, I think it was Granicus had a program that would cross match your registration versus Airbnb and stay and whatever else, VRBO. Are either you utilizing that matching program to track down folks that aren't paying the taxes? Thomas, you first.
That would be a question for the Commission of Revenue because
Understood.
that's their bail. Yeah.
Yep.
Kevin, do you?
100% same thing as Spotsylvania. The Commissioner of Revenue would have to take that one.
All right. Switching back to you, Thomas, you've been about 3, 4 months into this ag preservation coordinator piece. How has that manifested itself in planning and things coming to your desk?
Well, as you saw briefly, I pulled up the agenda for the Wares Crossroad Planning and Development, which you brought up the new golf course, and on that agenda, had two additions to the Ag Forestal District. So, in just a very short amount of time, our agriculture preservation coordinator has done a great job of, I guess, pounding the fields out there and getting people to join into our existing agricultural forestal districts. And she is also working on options and tools for the Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors to support the 2040 Comprehensive Plan's goal of preserving the rural character of the county. I think we'll see more. The months are coming down. 2026 is starting to fly by already. Uh, so I just say stay tuned and read your agenda as we go through the months, and we'll find out more.
Can you, for the folks, define what an ag forestal district is and how long the term of that is?
Sure. So the General Assembly allows localities to create agricultural forestal districts, and there are requirements for sizing and what meets the requirement of being in that district. That you can find that in either your local or state code. But it's a period of 10 years. So you get a group of people together, or you have an existing agricultural forestal district, which you can add parcels to. It goes through the public hearing process. It goes through the Ag Forestal District Committee, gets a recommendation there, Planning Commission, Board of Supervisors, and then it's added in. You don't have to wait every 10 years to add yourself in or create more parcels or add more parcels to it. You can add at any time. It's just that it's a 10-year cycle, and so at the end of 10 years, people can opt to either stay in or leave.
The and ag forestal districts in many localities, and I'd like to know about Spotsylvania and Louisa, automatically qualify for land use taxation because they're already meeting those needs. Do you all know if that's the case in your localities? Thomas, you first.
For Louisa County, you don't need to be in an ag forestal district to apply for the Commissioner of Revenue for ag use. But you're absolutely right. If you're in the AFD, it makes your application much easier to prove your case. So.
Kevin, do you know with regard to ag forestal districts and taxation?
Yeah, we have the ag forestal districts here as well. We also have an ag and forestry committee that we got started back up about a year and a half, 2 years ago. They were the folks that would make the recommendation for the ag forestal districts, and we've expanded on that committee now. Agriculture is a big part of Spotsylvania as well. 3/4 of our county is agriculture and rural living. Um, Land, same as Louisa, you don't have to be in an ag forest district in order to qualify for land use. You can put that application in and you get that tax break here in Spotsylvania as well. Something we're doing now here in Spotsylvania that's a little bit different than other economic development departments. The farmers market is run through our economic development department now. We've taken our farmers market here in the last year. We used to have 2 locations with 58 vendors. This year we've got 3 locations and we'll have just over 100 vendors. We'll be off of Gordon Road here at the Spotsylvania Courthouse and also at Spotsylvania High School. So we'll have three different times, and we'll have a Saturday market, a Sunday market, and a Wednesday afternoon market as well. We're trying to do everything we can here in the county. Ag is still the number 1 economic driver in the state of Virginia.
By far.
If everything you get at the grocery store, everything you see, a lot of our tourism here with Thomas mentioned earlier about the ag tourism. That's a $3 billion a year industry in the state of Virginia, and we have a lot of it here with our every winery, brewery, farm to table you see. All that's ag tourism. So it's something we're very passionate about here in Spotsylvania is taking care of our ag community as well. Because without them, no farms, no food. So,
Well, staying with you, Kevin, got a question. Can we get an update on the water quality in Lake Anna many clients for fishing and swimming. Many clients still hear misconceptions about the nuclear plant, power plant and fish glowing at night. And how will the new zoning plans impact that water quality?
Water quality in Lake Anna is affected by several things. I don't think any of our zoning regulations that we have right now are going to affect the water quality in the lake. There's of course, there's several things you can do to affect the quality. We had no swim advisories for several years at Lake Anna. This last summer, I don't believe we had any. They changed the testing mechanism for the harmful algae blooms, and we're not getting that level of toxicity that we had. Or that's probably the wrong term but hasn't it wasn't as bad last summer as it had been in previous summers. Um, with the lake, a lot phosphorus is what causes that harmful algae bloom. Phosphorus makes it grow. Phosphorus comes from the fertilizers that are put on people's yards and farm fields, but phosphorus also comes from decaying matter on the bottom of the lake. And the lake is at an age to where the we didn't go in when Lake Anna was created back in the 70s. We didn't go in and clear all the trees, so you had a lot of flooded timber, all that decaying matter that's on the bottom of the lake. Things people can do to help with water quality. Don't blow your grass into the lake. Don't rake your leaves into the lake. Little small things like that that the community can do to kind of help out with keeping that water quality good. The Lake Anna Civic Association does a lot of testing. They kind of help subsidize DEQ because DEQ in the state of Virginia, as far as water quality testing, their budget's very low, and that organization out here, Lake Anna, they spend a little over $10,000 a year, and they do testing themselves. So we try to keep a very good eye on it. They test on both sides of the lake by all means. We don't want anybody getting sick, getting in the water. Last year we were the number one beach community. Lake Anna was the number one beach community in the state. So that's crazy to see, but uh, it's a tourist attraction. We're lucky we have the state park here at the lake, and state park. You know, if you go out there on 601, it a lot of times on the weekend in the summer about 10:30, 11 o'clock, they close the gates because you can't get anybody else in there. It fills up. So we want people to come out and enjoy the lake, and the people that live here to enjoy it, and be able to keep it for many years for everybody to fish and swim and have a good time.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Thomas, um, the idea of lake health and the water quality is a little outside of zoning, but the question with regard to how approved permits impact the lake quality, water quality is actually kind of accurate in so much as what buffers are required by zoning, et cetera. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure, I'm sharing my screen again. So back around 2005, Louisa County created a shoreline ordinance. And so if you disturb 10,000 square feet, whether that's a home or a commercial business, like a marina or a restaurant, you're required to do a shoreline measure, which means that behind that building, you'll have either a berm and rock outlet, an infiltration trench, some sort of device that will capture the impervious runoff and allow it to stay on the property, evaporate or go into the ground before it goes into the lake, unless there's a large storm event. And so that has been around since around about 2005. I can't speak to anything more than that because that's the zoning tool that we're using.
All right. Well, the in looking at the Planning Commission agenda in discussions, um, the there was some discussion, I thought, Thomas, coming up with regard to changing um, lot sizes in the rural area. Can you speak to that at all?
Yes, so the Board of Supervisors recently tasked the Planning Commission to review and look at growth management tools. And so that began in the Planning Commission last month. I believe there's a work session and a regular session on it. And that discussion will continue, I believe, in this Thursday's meeting. And again, it's the Planning Commission's job to come up with recommendations for the Board of Supervisors. And those particular recommendations will probably be discussed as well with our agricultural conservation coordinator. And those items will work hand in hand of protecting both rural farmland, but at the same time having smart growth in areas such as our growth areas, and not allowing growth to end up in areas that are designated rural.
All right, and the numbers they're talking about, I thought I saw something with regard to lots, rural area lots having to go to 10 acres. I know Albemarle right now is 21. Do I have those numbers right that
Uh,
they're examining a 10-acre option?
that there is a 10-acre option. I believe it's called a homestead, but discussion's still going on with that. So we're at very early stages of that discussion.
Thank you. Kevin, with regard to your subdivision ordinances for the rural areas, do you have a minimum lot size that you have require for parcels that are subdividing?
It it varies depending on how you're zoned. The anything new in the rural areas right now, you still have Spotsylvania has about uh 13,000 approved building locations or lots. So you could go out and uh buy a 1 acre lot somewhere in the rural area and build a home on it. Depending on what zone. And like I say, it's let me see. It's we got three different ag zones, three different RU zones as well. So, as far as being able to create if you want to create a subdivision in a rural area, you're going to be on 5 to 10 acre lots.
All right, and the other thing to look at for folks on the call is Louisa is also looking at restricting um, time-based restrictions on family subdivisions, whereby if a family subdivides to create multiple parcels for the extended family, the family has to hold those parcels for a number of years before selling them off. And that's really just a thumbnail. I'm sure I'm not doing it justice, Thomas, but that's roughly the idea to control that regulation. Do I have that right?
Yeah, so the minimum lot size for residential and agricultural right now is 1.5 acres. And you are correct. Just to add on to Kevin's discussion about acreage for Louisa versus Spotsylvania, a couple of years ago, the minimum a year had to be 10 years for a family division, and then that went down to 5. And again, Planning Commission is looking at all kinds of different options. So they're going to look at reevaluating. Should it be 5, 10, another number? And we'll see how that discussion goes on.
I would encourage folks on the call to, because it's, my job, to follow freeenterpriseforum.org. And if you go on that site, you can subscribe to our newsletter or our blog posts. You'll get an email with the title of whatever I'm writing about. And then if it's not interesting to you, delete it and I'll never know. But that's at freeenterpriseforum.org. It's a WordPress site. I'm I don't spend a lot of time in Louisa, but I am very aware of it. I also encourage folks to follow Tammy Purcell's website and with regard to Louisa. She does a much better job tracking everything in Louisa County. But as we start to wrap up here, Kevin, did you have anything else you wanted to touch on before I close up the meeting?
No, I'm good. If there's anybody questions or any kind of follow up, anybody can reach out and give me a call anytime. Happy to answer.
Thank you. Thomas, anything else?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
I will put Tammy's website as it's engaged Louisa, and I received something the other day from it. I will try and put that in the chat while I stop talking here. I want to thank Thomas and Kevin for taking time on this Monday morning to be with us and updating us on Lake Anna. And I'm going to turn this back over to Melissa and try and answer the chat question while Melissa talks and not me.
Thank you, Neil. Yes, thank you, Thomas and Kevin. We appreciate your time and your expertise this morning. So thank you for joining us. Teresa is actually going to take over and share some upcoming classes and events at CAR that everyone can be looking up for. And thank you to everyone for joining us.
Neil, did you check out the chat and the questions? You're muted.
I think a lot of them were answered within the
Okay.
discussion, but yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we're not missing anybody. Does anybody else have a question for Kevin and Thomas?
Can we get this recording? Can we get a copy of the recording to watch it over again?
Yes, it will go out in Monday's news group, so be on the lookout for it.
Thank you.
Sure.
So Monday's news group through CAR.
It's CAR, yes.
Okay, all right.
I just wanted to say thank you for hosting the California Tri and the Lake Anna because Lake Monticello canceled. So I appreciate that. And any access we have to tourism at Lake Anna is such a blessing. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to maybe having you back again. Now we know who to reach out to. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. For those of you that can't stay on any longer, please feel free to go ahead and log off. And I will bring up my PowerPoint to show you what's going to be happening soon at CAR. First thing on our list is the Working with Buyers GRI 504 that's coming up on Thursday. If you haven't started working on your GRI, now's the time to get started. We do all 10 classes within a year. So if you start now, you'll be finished about this time next year. The other thing that's going on this week is the broker forum. For those of you that are brokers, we also have a class after the broker forum on Thursday, and it is a brand new broker management course called Escrow Management and Financial Risk. So we're eager to get your opinion on that. Cynthia Hash will be teaching that class. And then on the 19th is our March general membership meeting, which is the Professional Honor Society and Annual Awards Ceremony. So if you haven't registered, please register. Go ahead so that we have a head count and we'll know how many people is going to be showing up. Like Melissa said, we do have another Latte and Learn, guiding buyers from land purchase to construction. It's going to be a roundtable discussion, and you can see that we have Megan Rogers, Christopher Brement, and Julia Roberts. And Josh White is going to be the moderator for this. So this is going to be an interesting Latte and Learn. Coming soon is our Pat Jensen Leadership Academy. We start that in August. Application enrollment started on February 2nd and it ends on March 27th. If you haven't signed up for that, here's your opportunity. You can scan the QR code for more information. All of this is on the CAR website. Sweet 16. We have our 16 hours of continuing education coming up in April. If you are getting near your expiration date, now's the time to get registered for members. This is free. So you will be able to take all of Thursday, April 16th and Thursday, April 23rd's class for free. If you are a broker, we just had our broker 8-hour last week. The next time that we're going to hold that is in September. I believe it's on the 24th. At Home with Diversity is also part of the GRI, but it is a certification from NAR. So if you missed it the couple times that we have offered it, here's another opportunity for you on April 28th with Keith Smith. And then our May general membership meeting. Neil will be back again, and we're going to talk about transportation. The Professional Development Committee has decided that this is such a good topic that we want to keep it on a yearly basis and having them back every year. So they're going to be here on May 7th, and we're going to have Christine Jacobs, Carrie Shepard, Scott Thornton, and Kevin McDermott. Nelson County will be doing their economic update as well. So lots of things coming up. Brand new class serving seniors after the GMM in May on the 7th. And this is a brand new class. It's going to be 1 hour of CE, no PLE, because PLE, the classes would have to start at 2 hours and on to get any PLE credit. And then we have another Latte and Learn in May, Crozet Downtown Initiative. That's on May 15th. So a lot of good things are coming up. And the last thing that I want to just share with you is the new laws. Virginia Realtors will be at CAR, and they're going to be talking about the new laws from 9 to 10:50 a.m. This is in person. I have down here so far disclosures. I'm trying to change this to get an update on the new contract. So I had got this taken care of much earlier before we knew when the contract was coming out. So, but I am trying to get them to come do just an update on the contract for us. And that's all I have. I think that's a lot. There's a lot of stuff coming up at CAR, so you don't want to miss it. And again, you heard it first here if you didn't see it on our website or in the news group. So we look forward to seeing you at all of our events. We thank you for being here today. Thank you, Neil. We appreciate your time as usual, and we look forward to having you again in May. Have a great week, everybody, and you will be able to see this recording in Monday's news group.